Eala granted wildcard entry for WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open in Manila. Filipino tennis fans have more reason to be excited as Eala has been granted a wildcard entry to the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open, the country's first-ever Women's Tennis Association-sanctioned tournament to be held in Manila. The tournament will run from January 26 to 31, 2026, at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center and marks a major milestone for Philippine sports as the country hosts a WTA 125 event for the first time. Eala's wildcard entry opens the possibility of her competing in front of a home crowd at a historic international tournament on Philippine soil. Filipino tennis fans have closely followed her rise, from her recent win at the Kuyang Classic in the lead-up to the Australian Open to her strong performances at the ASB Classic earlier in the season. Her journey has also included key milestones such as winning the Australian Open girls doubles title and steadily building her presence on the professional tour, achievements that have helped bring tennis into the Philippine sports spotlight. In official tournament materials, Eala shared how meaningful a home tournament is for her and for Philippine tennis. "It's been a dream to have a home tournament," Eala said. "I think it's a huge step for tennis in the Philippines and women's tennis. I'm so happy that it's going to bring a lot of inspiration and a lot of motivation for the girls back home." The timing of the Philippine Women's Open overlaps with the Australian Open, which runs from January 12 to February 1. Because the Manila tournament is scheduled from January 26 to 31, Eala's appearance locally is not yet fixed. While she has been granted a wildcard entry, her participation will depend on how her campaign progresses at the Australian Open. Australian Open update: Eala has exited the singles competition after her most recent match. She remains in contention in the doubles draw and is set to compete alongside Brazil's Ingrid Martins against Japan's Shuko Aoyama and Poland's Magda Linette. Regardless of final lineups, the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open represents an important step forward for tennis in the Philippines. Filipino supporters have become a visible presence at Eala's matches overseas, cheering her on and helping push tennis into the national conversation alongside more traditional sports. The Philippine Women's Open is part of the WTA 125 series, a level just below the main WTA tour. Matches will be played on outdoor hard courts and will feature both singles and doubles draws at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center in Manila. Ticket prices are set at 200 Cuban pesos per day for qualifying rounds and 1,000 Cuban pesos per day for main draw matches, with higher tier pricing for the semifinal and final rounds. Tickets are available through SM Tickets online platform, at SM Tickets outlets in malls nationwide, and on-site at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center during the tournament dates. Fans who cannot attend in person may still watch the matches online through the official WTA digital streaming platform. For more uplifting stories about Filipino athletes, milestones, and global events happening in the Philippines, visit goodnewspilipinas.com. Eala's wildcard, a homecoming moment. When the Women's Tennis Association, WTA, announced the 2026 Philippine Women's Open, a WTA 125 tournament scheduled from January 26 to 31 in Manila, it already meant history for Philippine tennis. But when Eala, the country's brightest tennis star, was granted a wildcard entry into the main draw, that history became personal, emotional, and even more powerful. For Filipino fans, this wasn't just another tournament slot. It was a symbolic homecoming for a player who has carried the dreams of her nation onto courts across the globe. Why this wildcard matters? A wildcard spot isn't just a courtesy, it's a chance. It's a vote of confidence from organizers, a bridge between what a player has accomplished and what they can yet achieve. Wildcards are typically granted to rising stars, local heroes, or players whose rankings might not reflect their true potential. In Eala's case, it's all of the above. This wild card connects two powerful stories. A homegrown champion on the rise. The Philippines hosting its first WTA 125 tournament. These narratives converge perfectly at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center, a venue soon to be buzzing with international competition and Filipino pride. From Manila to the world stage. Eala's journey began long before Manila was awarded a WTA event. Trained at the prestigious Rafael Nadal Academy in Spain, she has climbed through the international tennis ranks with heart, hustle, and a fearless brand of tennis that's captured global attention. Some career highlights that mark her as more than just a local favorite. She became the first Filipino woman to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal at the Miami Open, defeating top players on her way. She captured her first WTA 125 title at the Guadalajara 125 Open in 2025, the first Filipino to do so. Her rankings climbed into the top 50, a milestone rarely achieved by athletes from countries without a deep tennis tradition. These accomplishments have made her not just a player to watch, but a trailblazer. And now, she returns to Asia with that experience and history. The Philippine Women's Open, a new stage for dreams. The Philippine Women's Open is the country's first WTA 125-level tournament, a milestone that puts Manila on the global tennis calendar and invites international talent to compete on Filipino soil. Featuring a 32-player singles draw and a strong cast of competitors from across the world, the event gives local fans a rare chance to witness elite women's tennis up close. And why does it matter? 1. A catalyst for local tennis. For a sport still growing in popularity at home, hosting a WTA event is monumental. It offers young Filipino players, especially girls, a tangible role model. Seeing Alex compete in Manila can spark the belief that someone from their own streets and schools can reach the top. 2. A festival of sport and culture. This isn't just a tennis tournament, it's an event that unites fans, families, and communities in celebration of athletic excellence. With ticket sales rising and international media attention increasing, Manila becomes a hub of excitement, pride, and global attention. 3. A legacy in the making. As the first edition of its kind in the Philippines, this tournament will be remembered as a starting point, a launchpad for both the event itself and the players it inspires. The people who attend won't just watch matches, they'll witness history in action. Alex's Wildcard. What it means for her and her nation. To understand the emotional gravity of her wildcard entry, consider what Alex represents. Tennis, a young girl from Manila who dared to dream beyond borders. Tennis, a Filipino athlete who broke records and expectations. Tennis, a role model for countless others chasing big ambitions. Her wildcard is more than a ticket, it's an invitation to inspire. In a sense, Alex returning to play at home is like a hero coming back to the hometown stage after proving themselves abroad. Local fans won't just see her compete, they'll see her journey reflected in every serve, every rally, every set. And even if her scheduling around other global tournaments, like her Australian Open campaign, could shift her availability, the sentiment remains, her presence elevates the event.